11:17 on TSN 690. It is Game Night OT. I am your host, Matthew Ross. We're here until the top of the hour, and then Game Points with Matthew Ross will take to the airwaves. Update in San Jose.
Brent Burns has just given the Sharks a 2-1 lead over the Carolina Hurricanes. A nice feed from Rafi Torres.
All right, we're watching that one in the studio. We're also monitoring the Eddie Lack era as the Coyotes lead right now 1-0 on Vancouver. Edler's in the box for another 25 seconds or so, and Vancouver trying to kill it off. 5:45 remaining in the third period. We'll continue to update you on the scoreboard. But right now, we talk about the trade deadline, which is rapidly approaching, and the possibility of trades are also evaporating as we speak. Let us chat now with one of our favorites from thefourthperiod.com, also the Fourth Period on Twitter. It is Dave Pagnotta. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Tired, but good. But good. Exciting times, man. Exciting times.
So, Dave, we just had a caller about 4 minutes ago from Vermont, no less, reporting, or not reporting, rather, but informing of us of a report that a couple of people are floating out there, including some guy named Dave Pagnotta, about Rene Bourque. If you'd like to elaborate on that, we'd love for you to go for it.
Yes, believe it or not, the Canadians are working on trading Rene Bourque. There are a few options available to them. There's no guarantee.
Whoa. Go back.
Yes.
I know this is not optimal for clipping purposes, where you kind of just let the guy go for the entire soundbite and then you interrupt him. But I did a double take there, kind of like a spit take, right? Like those, Toronto FC commercials. There's interest on Rene Bourque. I'm trying to process that. A player making a certain amount of money, underachieving, concussion history. Please start again, and I will try and once again process.
Salary drops next year, which may help some teams, as his cap hit's still going to be, his $3.3 million. But he'll be making less than that, obviously. Like I said, there are a few teams that are interested in Rene Bourque that are looking for some depth in on their bottom six. And the Canadians are working that angle right now. Like I said, no guarantee a deal gets done, but it's a possibility. And according to multiple people that I've talked to about this, they wouldn't be surprised if a deal ends up happening tomorrow.
All right. Elsewhere on the Habs front, before we move around, is Andrei Markov still in play?
No, not from a trade perspective. By all accounts, the Canadians want to keep Andrei Markov and sign him to an extension. I'd be shocked if they end up moving Andrei Markov. They're still talking and trying to get him locked up to a deal. And if they can't get something done by 3 p.m. on Wednesday, then they'll obviously work towards doing something after the deadline passes. The other guy, and this may surprise some people as well, that the Canadians are going to talk to about an extension after the deadline is Captain Brian Gionta. Again, no guarantees an extension gets done, and he would have to take a considerable pay decrease. But the Canadians and Brian Gionta are expected to talk soon after the deadline about the possibility of signing an extension.
The acquisition of Mike Weaver, is this just a depth move, or does it precipitate one defenseman currently on the roster that will be moved out?
It's possible, but the goal here was to add some depth on the blue line. And 35-year-old veteran guy adds some strong leadership presence to the locker room. And teams that are going down the stretch into the playoffs try to look for these kind of pieces to add to their roster. He's not going to be a dominant force on the blue line, but he's a depth guy and a good guy in the room, and solid acquisition for the Habs.
All right. Got a tweet coming in on the on the Rene Bourque situation from Stevie Ray Ryan. Man, you're supposed to pretend that everybody should want Rene Bourque. Well, I'm sorry. You're right. As a Habs supporter, I should be trying to help the cause rather than hinder it. My apologies. chatting with Dave Pagnotta from thefourthperiod.com and The Fourth Period on Twitter if you want to follow him there as stories continue to trickle out. And are you shocked about the Luongo situation? Did you think that was in play? Because certainly it wasn't one of the names that people had been talking about the last couple of days.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. I had a chance to chat with Pat Brisson, his agent, over the weekend after I'd heard that there might be a possibility. He was very quick to say he couldn't say anything about it, which I had reported a couple days ago, and that led me to believe that something was definitely in the mix. I didn't think anything was going to really happen now. I thought maybe we might see something in the summer. But I'm happy for him. He wanted out, and the slap in the face of him not starting in the Heritage Classic was just one too many. And I don't know what the hell they're doing in Vancouver. I really don't. I don't understand it. But I'm happy that Roberto Luongo's out of there. Ryan Kessler's probably going to be next. And they've got other pieces that teams are calling about: Kevin Bieksa, Alex Edler, Burrows. I don't think this is going to be a huge fire sale, and I don't expect all these guys to get moved. It's going to cost a lot to get a guy like Alex Edler and someone like Kevin Bieksa, but teams are calling about them, and they're not being turned away.
Elsewhere in trade wins, Dave, your thoughts on any? You throw out one or two names that are intriguing you as we get closer to the deadline.
Well, Matty Molson is a guy that he's going to get traded, and by all accounts, it looks like something's going to end up happening with the Los Angeles Kings. The Buffalo Sabres really wanted Tyler Toffoli, and there's really no chance that the LA Kings are going to part with this guy, not for a rental player and a guy that could walk as a free agent at the end of the season. I'm told, and my colleague Dennis Bernstein has also heard some similar reports that. The Sabres have kind of eased off of their demands on Toffoli and are willing to go in a different direction. Could be somebody like Lyndon Vey or Tanner Pearson's two solid young kids in the LA system. And it could be a centerpiece in a package for a guy like Matt Molson. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening. I think that the LA factor is pretty much the number one target for them is Matt Molson.
Mr. Vanek. Where do you think? What's your gut telling you?
Man, this one, my gut's telling me nothing. I've got no idea. This has changed so many times.
Okay. Let's pretend that didn't happen. And for the latest on Thomas Vanek, let's go to Dave Pagnotta. Dave.
Lots of interest in Thomas Vanek, but there's no clear-cut it doesn't appear that there's a clear-cut favorite right now in the race for him. We've heard L.A., Anaheim, San Jose, New Jersey, teams that appear to no longer be in the mix for him. We keep hearing Boston knocking on the door on Thomas Vanek. I actually wouldn't be surprised if that ends up happening. The Bruins always seem to pull something out. And if the Penguins do, in fact, get Ryan Kessler, be sure that Boston and Peter Chiarelli, their GM, is going to react in some fashion and might mean he steps up and makes a deal for Thomas Vanek. The Bruins want to get somebody on the blue line. But they've also been exploring a top six guy. Camilleri's been discussed as well as a potential backup plan. I know they've been looking at Marian Gaborik for the last little while, so that might be a plan too. But Vanek right now, it's eerily quiet where he's going to end up. He's traveling with the team right now after their game today, their win over Winnipeg. So he's going to be with them tomorrow, but he won't be beyond that day.
All right. Looking at the Chicago Blackhawks, what are they looking for right now?
Not a whole lot. There were reports that they were really in on Ryan Kessler, and Stan Bowman, their GM, kind of shot that down really quickly, saying, no, we're not looking to do anything big. If anything, and they added some depth on the blue line, but mainly because the future type move and getting David Rundblad. But I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the destination for Marty Brodeur. Really wouldn't. There's some possibilities there. Chicago's one of the teams that's expressed interest. If that ends up happening, it's obviously Brodeur's decision. But if the Blackhawks make any headlines tomorrow, it's probably for that.
Okay. And final thoughts here. Mike Camilleri, where does he end up?
a lot of interest in Mike Camilleri, but he's kind of a plan B to whoever is going after Molson and Vanek. If they can't get their hands on one of those guys, then they're going to push a little bit harder for Mike Camilleri. I know that Columbus is really interested in him and wouldn't mind getting their hands on this guy. They need to trade Marion Gaborik to do it, and I think they're going to. But I know Columbus would really like to get their hands on him. New Jersey and Ottawa also very much in the mix for Mike Camilleri, and the Ducks and your usual suspects, the Ducks and Kings and Sharks that are also looking at Molson and Vanek, like I talked about. If they can't make that happen, they're going to try to up the ante and get Cammy. But I think he stays or ends up going back to the Eastern Conference, to be honest.
He is Dave Pagnotta. Again, the website, thefourthperiod.com. Check out their trade tracker there. And also, of course, follow Dave on twitter.com/thefourthperiod. Dave, go get some sleep.
Not tonight. Tomorrow.
Oh, during the deadline, you're just going to have a nap? Is that it?
Yeah, at 1 o'clock, I'm just going to say, you know what? Forget it. I'm done.
Shut her down, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Take care, Dave.
See you, buddy.
All right, there you go. That's Dave Pagnotta. It is game night OT here on TSN 690. Other side of the break, we'll look at the Habs situation. We'll also get you updated on the scoreboards as well.